Today we are taking a 26-hour sleeper train between Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. I will show you the rooms and all the onboard amenities as we travel 1,300 kilometers through this fascinating part of Central Asia. Now this may sound like a lot of fun to many of you watching until we start to dig into the details. It was certainly a very memorable trip, and not for all the right reasons. Oh yeah, and we had a breakdown in 35-degree heat with no AC. So come along with me and let's check it all out together. Welcome to Kazakhstan's capital, Astana, the country's second largest city, which is home to 1.6 million people. I wasn't really too sure what to make of this place. It was very pristine and well kept, but didn't really have any atmosphere. It only became the capital in 1997, replacing the largest city, Almaty, which is located 1,000 kilometers to the south of here. Anyway, let's head to the station to get this trip started. I took a taxi the 12 kilometers to get to Astana near Winchell, which took just over half an hour. Since filming, a very delayed metro system has now opened, linking the airport, city centre and this station, only about 15 years after it should have done. Okay, let's head inside. There is a whole lot of nothing on the ground floor. The departure concourse is up one level and can be accessed after passing this airport-style security check. There is no limit on liquids though. Then head up in this lift and you will find the main hall straight ahead and to the left. This is super bright and airy and has a large selection of seating. It is also filled with plenty of shops and food outlets across 2 floors. Trust me, you are going to want to stock up, as there is no food available on board the train. There are also a number of staffed ticket counters. If you head up one more level, then you can really appreciate this fantastic space, certainly the largest and most modern in Kazakhstan. Today we are taking train 406 from Astana, Kazakhstan to Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan. This train starts in Kazan, Russia, and is already well over halfway through its total journey distance. Let's check out the route. We depart Astana and head south down the eastern Kazakhstan mainline before we loop around the mountains into Kyrgyzstan, arriving in Bishkek tomorrow evening. There are around 30 intermediate stops in total. Here is our train now, arriving at 6:34 PM, just over 30 minutes before our scheduled departure time of 7:10. Hauling it is this pretty new Kazakhstan Railways Alstom Prima KZ4AT. These new electric locomotives have a maximum speed of 200 km per hour and a power output of 4,800 kilowatts. Our coach will be one of the green Kyrgyz Railways ones, which are towards the rear of the composition. The blue and grey Kazakh Railways carriages you can see at the front here are train 114, also from Kazan, with the destination of Almaty. This will travel with us until tomorrow lunchtime, as far as Shu. Okay, let's head down to the platforms and get on board. These are accessed by both escalators and lifts for step-free access. Unfortunately, that is as far as accessibility goes on this trip, and there are no facilities either to board or when on board this 15-coach train. My carriage is right here, just one down from the escalator. The Provodnitsa or carriage attendant checks my ticket and passport, and then I am allowed to board, by way of these 3 steep steps up to the coach, which will be my home for the next 26 hours. It's already very hot down here, and it's only going to get worse. The vibe of this ex-Soviet carriage is very cool, and we'll be sure to check it out in more detail once we're on the move. Speaking of getting going, we depart Astana main station right on time at 7:10 PM. This journey to Bishkek, the Kyrgyzstan capital, covers a total distance of 1,290 kilometers, which is scheduled to take us 25 hours and 28 minutes of travel time. There are just 2 classes of accommodation on board, and we're in the higher of those, called Kupe, which is a second-class product in a private room with 4 beds. These cost 54,000 Kazakh Tenge for 1 passenger. The lower type is Platzkart, or third class, which is in an open dormitory style. We'll have a look at this later on. The price for 1 person here is 40,000 Kazakh Tenge. This may seem like reasonable value for this length of train trip to a European or American, but it is definitely on the more expensive side for this part of the world. If you are feeling brave and are good with Google Translate, then it is possible to book tickets through the official Kazakhstan Railways website. Or otherwise, you can use a third-party reseller such as 1-2-Go, which are much more user-friendly but do charge a commission. It's worth noting that this train only runs once per week in each direction. Since filming, the timetable has changed, with the southbound journey now departing Astana at 8:25 AM on Sundays, arriving Monday morning in Bishkek, and the northbound service departing Bishkek at 6:10 PM on Tuesdays, arriving Wednesday evening in Astana. I'm happy to say Level 8 are once again sponsoring today's video and are now in their 4th year supporting the channel. My go-to case right now is their Adventure 20-inch carry-on, which is available in a variety of colours. Its tough polycarbonate hard shell construction is designed to cope with busy stations, airport terminals and everything else my journey throws at it. It also has an expandable design, smooth 360-degree spinner wheels and a wide telescopic handle, which makes it incredibly easy to manoeuvre on all surfaces. I've paired it with the stylish new Level 8 Urban backpack, which slips neatly over the suitcase handle thanks to its wide elastic strap. It is ideal for keeping my camera gear, laptop and travel essentials organised and easily accessible with its open flat design. If you'd like to upgrade your own travel setup, follow the link in the description and use code NONSTOP12 to save 12% on your next Level 8 order. Thanks Level 8, and now let's get back to the video. Well, there is definitely one great thing to be said about having a non-air conditioned train, and that is the possibility to make some awesome window hanging shots. Just wait until later on when the stunning lakes and mountains come into view. As we head out into the vast Kazakh steppe, let's go and check out our second class coupe room. Fortunately, now that there is some airflow as we have picked up speed, it's cooled down in here a fair bit. As mentioned, these are 4-berth private compartments, however you will probably be sharing with other passengers unless you have bought all 4 beds. The door can be locked in 2 places, but only from the inside. The main room and nightlight switches can be found here on the right hand side. Each bunk has its own mattress pad and pillow, and then a bedding pack is provided consisting of a pillowcase and 3 sheets for you to make up the bed yourself. A bit retro, but it looks comfy enough. The mattress wasn't very thick, but it was quite soft and all the bedding was clean. The pillow was plump too. A fold-out ladder is provided to help access the top bunks. We have stowed these away for a bit more space as there are only 2 of us in the room. Each bunk has a small netted shelf along with a hanging rack and an individual reading light. Luggage storage is available on the large shelf above the door and also underneath the bottom bunks, which includes this secure locker. There is also a large and sturdy table affixed to the wall by the window. Speaking of the window, this opens at the top for the much needed ventilation. There are also thin, full-height curtains along with a smaller netted section at the bottom for privacy. It's worth noting there are no power sockets in these rooms, so be sure to pack a power bank or 2. There is also no Wi-Fi. You'll get intermittent 4G signal when passing through settlements, but don't count on having data for the rest of the time. Downloading some content or bringing a book or a pack of cards will be a great idea. Overall, a very standard ex-Soviet coupe sleeper compartment, comfortable but very dated, and very hot when not on the move. Let's go and check out a bit more of the train now. A bin bag can be found hanging from the fire extinguisher in the corridor for all your waste disposal needs. Do be careful when moving between coaches, especially with kids, as you could easily get a foot caught in the gap. Each carriage has 2 toilets, 1 at each end. These were very basic but functional. The water can be activated by pushing up the nozzle slowly. Soap was available, but there was no hand drying facilities or toilet roll. It also empties directly onto the track, so cannot be used in stations for obvious reasons. While this is not advertised as a fast train, I was pleasantly surprised at the speed we managed to achieve, with long stretches spent travelling at between 90 and 110 km per hour. We spend the evening making stops at many smaller towns and villages before I finally settle down for the night at around 10:30 PM, as full darkness is just about upon us. I got a nice 9 hours rest, only waking up once or twice. I have to say the ride quality was really good, and I've always found these type of coaches to be particularly comfortable to sleep on board. I love lying in bed seeing the landscapes pass by outside the window. I could have laid here for another hour, but I decided to get up as the sunrise is happening on the opposite side of the coach, and I can't miss that for you guys. As far as I can tell, we're pretty much running to schedule too, but don't worry, this trip still has a few surprises in store for us yet. One thing I was quite surprised about on this train is that there is no form of catering on board at all. Bear in mind this route from end to end is over 65 hours in total. I would definitely suggest bringing sandwiches, drinks and snacks with you, but there is another option which I will show you when we arrive at Shu a bit later on. In the meantime, the attendant has supplies of tea and coffee available, which you can buy, and a mug which you can borrow. You can then have a morning brew using the coal-fired hot water boiler, one of which is located in every coach. Top tip, bring some pot noodles to make up and you can at least have a basic hot meal. We are now coming up to run alongside one of the highlights of the route, the stunning Lake Balkhash. This is the largest lake in Kazakhstan and the 15th largest in the world, covering 16,400 square kilometres. We are now on the approach to Shu. This city of 45,000 people is a very important junction on the line, and indeed for our train too. Just before the station, the line to Kazakhstan's largest city Almaty branches off. The blue and grey Kazakh coaches on the left here are detached, will reverse and continue on their own for the first time since this train left Kazan. We will continue straight ahead with our green Kyrgyz coaches and a new locomotive for the remaining 7 or so hours of this trip. While this game of musical carriages is taking place, I have time to head to the platform vendors to stock up my food and drink supplies for the afternoon. Bread, pastries, fruit, crisps, biscuits, ice creams and loads of cold drinks are available. We are then back on the move, having departed Shu right on schedule at 1 PM. The mountains you can see off in the distance are part of the Tian Shan range, with this section forming the part of the natural border between Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan. Because of these, we have to loop around the edge of them, which nearly triples the straight line distance from here to Bishkek. Let's pop down and check out the only other accommodation type on board this train, Platzkart or third class. This is in open compartments of 6 beds with a further 2 lengthways down the aisle. Bedding is still provided, but there is not a great deal of personal space or privacy, and it doesn't cost that much less. We are now pulling into Lugovaya, where we will reverse and also be changing locos again, this time to a diesel one as all the lines are electrified in Kyrgyzstan. The new one can be seen in the background here. It's a Kyrgyz Railways 2 TE10, well, half of one anyway, as they usually run in pairs. These have a top speed of 100 km per hour and a power output of 1,830 kilowatts. This is doubled when paired up. They are also very well known for making a lot of smoke and noise, and this one is certainly living up to that reputation. Spoiler alert, this Lokka will play a big part in the events to come later in the trip. But for now, everything is working as it should, and we can sit back and enjoy some more train window views of the Tian Shan mountains in the background. Within an hour, we are on the approach to Chaldivar, the Kazakh border station where the exit checks will take place. You do not need to alight, the immigration police will come to you with their mobile terminal and stamps. It took around 1 hour for them to process the whole train, and it soon got very hot and uncomfortable in my compartment. Back on the move, and with some airflow restored, we are now in a kind of no man's land in between countries and not officially in either of them. There were a few guard posts along the tracks, but it didn't seem like there was a particularly high security presence in the area. The actual border is just after this little bridge, and just like that, welcome to Kyrgyzstan. The entry border checks are carried out at the first station in the country, Tenge. Again, this occurred on board the train, and again, it was super hot and took about an hour from start to finish. Right, back on the move for the final part of the journey to the Kyrgyz capital. We call at a few more smaller stations, such as here at Belovodskoy. Pay attention to this little shunter on the right here, as he's about to take a starring role in this story. Shortly after the station, we suddenly and abruptly come to a screeching halt in the middle of a field. About half an hour later, we very slowly start to get dragged backwards, and about 10 minutes after that, we are back at Belovodskoy. Another half hour passes, and the shunter now reappears, running around to the front of the train. This was shortly followed by his identical twin brother. Obviously, I now have to get out to have a look. With the two TE10 now apparently dead, the remainder of the trip to Bishkek will see us being hauled by this pair of TEM2 diesel shunting locomotives. Combined, these two have around the same power as the half-2 TE10. And with a delay of about 70 minutes, night has happened and we are back on the move. All things considered, this could have gone a lot worse. Our first stop in the Kyrgyz capital is at Bishkek 1, the smaller and less central of the two main stations here. So small, in fact, it looks like we aren't going to stop. But we're just way too long for the platform, so our coach, which is near the front of the consist now, hangs way off the platform. Okay, fast forward another 15 minutes and we are arriving at our destination, and the final stop of this train, Bishkek 2. The station is on the other side of this adjacent train, and that will cause one more problem before I can finally head to my hotel. The total delay is just over 1 hour in the end, which for a 26-hour journey with a locomotive failure is okay, I guess. There are no underpasses or bridges on the platforms here, so everyone has to literally climb through the other train to get to the exit. So, to summarise this journey from Astana to Bishkek with Kyrgyzstan Railways, it certainly was an adventure. First, the positives. Well, I'm happy that I experienced this classic long-distance international service. It is about as close to an authentic Soviet-era travel experience as you can get nowadays. And the scenery was pretty special too, from the vast Kazakh steppe to Lake Balkhash and the Tian Shan mountains. I also slept really well, with the ride quality, bed and bedding being great. However, it was oppressively hot at any times where we weren't moving or going slowly, which was quite a lot to be honest. But then, I guess if there was AC, then the excellent window hanging shots wouldn't have been possible. It's also pretty expensive for this part of the world, with a direct 2-hour flight costing less than a third class bed on board. So, would I recommend for you to take this international sleeper train from Astana to Bishkek? Well, that very much depends on being aware of the things in this video, and you can make your own choice. I can't say I will be rushing back to do this trip, especially in the summer. Have you been on any ex-Soviet sleeper trains before? If so, which ones and on which routes? How did you find them? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.